hablo desde la prisión. Wilson Manyoma, Borbona. ¡Que vaya!
The book, again, is a simple book. It's not really meant to make a political statement. It is meant to make a personal statement, to show the humanity, the human aspect of the experience of the undocumented immigrant, which I think has been lost in the debate over what we should do for the undocumented immigrants. So what is the solution? We can spend billions solely on racist enforcement laws or offense across land, air, and sea. But we can be more practical and find a way to incorporate them into our country in a humane fashion that makes sense to both sides. The inescapable fact is that there are millions of undocumented families living among us who have been here for many years and who are an integral part of our daily lives, with deep roots in our own personal lives and our social and economic institutions. Can we throw them all out? I think most reasonable Americans will concede that this is impossible, let alone cruel to the children that are born here. So the only real option is to find a way to offer them a sensible path toward emerging from the shadows of society. The solution to this dilemma will only come when we open our minds and our hearts and realize that this is a great human tragedy. A perfect example is the judge who handled my family's immigration appeal. He could have strictly adhered to the letter of the immigration law and told my parents, I am deeply sorry, but you have broken the law and therefore you have to leave the country. But he tempered his decision by taking into account my parents' two sons who were American citizens by birth and raised here and spoke fluent English, not to mention his awareness of their older brother who was getting A's at Princeton and would likely be a valuable addition to American life. The judge allowed an element of human compassion to influence his decision. He had the gift of empathy and did not simply follow a set of guidelines that would have forced him to kick my family out. Just as a coincidence, I know that Bill Bradley is going to be here on Thursday. When I was having all these problems, I sent letters to everyone, to Ronald Reagan, to the governor who was a Princeton grad, and to Bill Bradley. And Bill Bradley sent me a letter of support, and then he sent me a second letter from his office, and he wanted me to let his office know when our next immigration trial was going to be, the number of our file, and who the judge was, and I sent that information to him. And it just happened that the next time we had a trial, my family was able to obtain residency, and therefore I was able to really have the opportunity to make my dream of going to school a reality. So it's a coincidence that we're going to be here in the same week. But again, family and this is really touching for me, and I hope you enjoyed it. And we're gonna have wine and stuff. So. We're gonna do maybe a question for 5 minutes, and then we'll one morning at 7 in the morning, after he's worked all night, my father finished his shift, and it was snowing outside. He always walked from his job to the apartment, and because it was snowing, one of his friends offered him a ride. So my father decided that he was going to take his friend's advice and go in the car the ride. This is my beautiful son. So my father took the advice, and one of his other friends who didn't take the advice decided he was going to walk. When that friend, his name is Santiago, when he got to the corner, the immigration van was right there. And my father was able to see it because he was in the car, and he was able to see his friend being booked by the immigration officers right there. There were many times where I was very close to getting caught. Actually, the woman who made all this possible is here. She just walked in. My mother is right there. All right. Well, thank you all for being here. We have some wine and cookies and stuff. So thank you all.
All right, so if you want to get a book signed, you can line up along the romance shelves.
Virgen de las Mercedes, patrona de los reclusos, dame si puedes la libertad y recursos para salir de esta celda donde me encuentro amargado, pagando una larga pena, la máxima del juzgado. De rodillas te prometo que al vicio no vuelvo más.